Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku love was forbidden part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝐒𝐻𝐼 Wattpad. So let's start the video. After All Might's fight with All for One, Japan and the world was in shambles. Villains were on the loose, and no one knew what to think. It was no secret that Endeavor, the number 2 hero before All Might fell, is no worthy replacement. At least, that's what you would have been thinking about at that time. Welcome to your life. It's pretty hard to be normal in any way when your parents were so invested in the life of their villainy. Everything is so complicated with so many facts, opinions, and beliefs that you can't keep all of it straight. You're beginning to question if this life that your parents have been boasting is the best choice. They raised you to believe that no hero is worthy, in the words of Stain, but all you've ever wanted is to be normal. As you walk these streets and alleyways with your hood up, all you see are all the happy people conversing with each other, and jealousy builds up within you. You know that everything is about to change. Especially now that your parents have come in contact with the League of Villains. I snap out of your head and enter the hidden building my family calls home. My father perks his head up, a phone pressed to his ear. He holds a finger up to his lips, signaling for me to be quiet. I obey, traveling to the small enclosure that is my room. I find a book on top of my sleeping bag and begin reading it. I've never had the privilege of having a phone because my parents are too paranoid. They believe that cell phones would track my location and get them discovered. I'm glad to still have them around, but I do wish I could live and learn like a normal kid. Half an hour goes by, and my father sticks his head into my small area. Hey, sweetheart. How are you? Dad asks me. I'm doing okay, Dad. When does Mom get home? I reply. She gets home in about 15 minutes. You should get ready, she'll be expecting you at your best. He informs me. Yeah, okay, I sigh. I close my book and put it away. What was that phone call all about, anyway? And why do you even have a phone? I ask. I was on the phone with Dabi. I figured that if we were going to get into contact with them, it would be best to have an easier way to do that. He answers. Alright, I say. Well, I'm gonna go figure out dinner. Get ready for your quirk training, kiddo. Dad says. My mom has always had high expectations for me, since I were born with such a versatile quirk. Your quirk is called Poison Ivy. It can form whips of darkness from your hands and fingertips, and if you touch someone with your hands, you can poison them. This has caused you to always wear gloves, because you've never been able to safely touch someone without them dying. Obviously, this quirk has a lot of uses. I've speculated that that's the only reason why my parents kept me, since they'd be better off on their own. I get up off of my sleeping bag and go through my duffel bag. I pull out a pair of black gym shorts and a red crop tank top, and I change clothes. I hear the door open up and close gently. Footsteps echo across the floorboards. I tense up and prepare to defend myself. Hey, Y/N. You in here? My mother asks. I recognize the threatening aura of my mother poking her head through the small opening. Yeah, I'm in here. I reply hesitantly. Good, come on out. I have someone here I'd like you to meet. She says. I walk out of my room to where my mother stands next to a blonde-haired teenager. I ask. Hiya. I'm Himiko Toga. I've heard so much about you. Toga introduces herself. Really? I stutter. Mom speaks next. Yes, this is Toga. I'm gonna take you to meet the rest of the league today, and you can show them what you can do. Me and your father aren't that impressive, so we're counting on you. I guess Toga wanted to meet you early. I can feel my mother's eyes burning a hole through me, so I break eye contact and look at the smaller girl standing next to her. She runs up and throws her arms around me. I'm so glad I'm finally getting a girlfriend. I'm so excited. Toga excitedly yells. She pulls away slightly, her arms still draped over my shoulders. Do you have a crush on any hot boys? She asks out of the blue. What dash? My cheeks turn pink. Oh, that's too bad. Don't worry, we can both get cute boyfriends together. Toga gushes. 15 minutes later, I find myself walking into an abandoned warehouse following my mother and that girl Toga. Mom is greeted by Dad and a blue-haired man with a hand on his face. Like a mummified hand, detached from the body it belongs to. Toga runs up to that man, pulling me along with her. Hey Shiggy. We gotta accept their offer, this girl is super cute. Oh, I never got your names. Toga looks back at you, waiting for a response. Oh, I'm Y/N/L/N, that's adorable. Toga smiles at you. The blue-haired guy speaks up suddenly. Okay, that's great, but we were promised a strong fighter. Prove to me that you're strong enough by fighting Toga here, and your parents will get what they want. I snap out of my thoughts. Yeah, okay. I snap. Toga giggles and skips away from me a little. She comes at me quick, sprinting fast while wielding a knife. I turn on my heel and grab her wrist with one hand and her back with the other. I push her down into the ground and sit on her back. I twist the knife out of her hand and kick it away. Ow. Toga squeaks. Sorry, Toga, I apologize. My parents are looking at me in approval. The blue-haired man approaches us both. I guess you won fair and square, all right. We make a trade. Mom starts to make a deal with him. All right, what are we talking? Mom starts. You get 10,000 and we get the girl. The blue-haired man states. Deal. Mom shakes the man's hand carefully. I get up and look at everyone in the room. What the hell is going on here? I ask them. Mom looks down on me with eyes that pierce right through me. Me and father's/name are going to live the life we've always wanted. Mom simply states. What? I utter in disbelief. My mother goes with the blue-haired man to get her money. Dad approaches me with a small, flat box in his hand. He opens it, and there is a shiny necklace inside. He unclasps it and puts it on around my neck. Dad, what is this? I whisper, my voice barely audible. I'm sorry, I really am. I hope you know that, sweetheart. This is a locket. Dad elaborates. Why are you giving me this? I ask. Because I want you to know that I care. Your mother wants to start anew, which is why we're leaving you here, with the people who she believes can take care of you best. Our time here changing the world might be over, but yours isn't. Please, go out and make us proud, he tells me. Dad, I can barely speak at this point. Tears well up in my eyes. I grasp the circle-shaped locket and hold it tight. I will. I stare into his eyes, a newfound determination burning through my soul. My mother and the blue-haired man return. She's holding a black briefcase. It's time for us to go. Take care, sweetheart. Dad says to me. My parents leave me behind without another word. My thoughts are interrupted by a gentle hand on my shoulder. Toga's golden eyes stare into your 𝐒/C eyes curiously. The blue-haired man steps forward. My name is Tamura Shigaraki. Welcome to the League of Villains. It felt like a dream and a nightmare. Everything had changed so quickly that it gave me whiplash. I couldn't even respond to Shigaraki. Let's show her to the place we're staying at, Shiggy, Toga says. Okay. Shigaraki agrees. Toga links her arm in mine, and both of us follow Shigaraki to where the rest of the league is hiding. I approach a ruined house on the outskirts of an overgrown forest about 30 minutes later. Shigaraki opens the door, and all three of us walk in. A couple people jump up from where they were sitting and approach Shigaraki. Hey Shigaraki, where were you? A lizard man questions. Shigaraki steps to the side and reveals me, their new member. This is our new member, Shigaraki announces. Awesome. Really, Shigaraki? That's a teenager. A man in a black and white mask says. Twice. Such a charmer. Toga smiles at the man in the black and white mask. Well, what are you waiting for? Introduce yourself. A man with black spiky hair and purple scars steps forward. I'm Y/N/L/N, I say. The rest of the people in the room introduce themselves. Kurogyri, the man made of mist. Dabi, the dude with purple scars twice, the man with the black and white mask. Spinner, the lizard man. Compress, the gentleman in the top hat. Big Sis Magna, the one with red hair. I hope you enjoy our company. Compress bows to me. Shigaraki gathers everyone in the main area of the house. We need more information on those hero students. Shigaraki starts. That's probably where we went wrong last time, 𝐲𝐵 complains. I would love to have more info on Izuku, 𝐭𝐲 exclaims. You mean that kid who broke his fingers at the sports festival? I ask. 𝐭𝐲 turns towards you. He did that? Yeah, a kid named Izuku Midoriya at the 𝐎𝐸𝐽 sports festival. I say, wow. I guess his quirk improved a lot since then. 𝐭𝐲 realizes. Yeah. Stop talking about that annoying brat and get back on topic. Shigaraki irritably states. Sorry, Shiggy. 𝐭𝐲 apologizes. Anyways, we need more info. Shigaraki gets cut off by Spinner. Let's send that new recruit to you, eh? Everyone stops and looks at Spinner, who presented that uncommonly good idea. Wow, who knew the lizard had a brain? 𝐲𝐵 teases. Hey. Spinner protests. Shigaraki, what do you think of that? Sending her in would get plenty of info on Izuku, 𝐭𝐲 says. It's a good idea. Let's do it. Shigaraki agrees. Yeah, I can totally do that. I say. Alright, let's get you to 𝐎𝐸𝐽 and you can work it out with their principal or something. 𝐲𝐵 says. Okay. I agree. It was quite late, so we decided to wait until the morning. I wake up at dawn to 𝐭𝐲 poking my cheeks. Ha 𝐭𝐲. I sit up groggily. Hey, you're awake. Morning. We gotta get you down to 𝐎𝐸𝐽, so Shiggy got you some extra clothes to wear. 𝐭𝐲 tells me. You aren't sure of the origin of those clothes, but sure enough you're presented with a uniform from a middle school. You gonna take it, or? 𝐭𝐲 asks. Sorry. I apologize. I take the uniform and 𝐭𝐲 exits the room. I quickly change into it and go out of the room. Wow, that's adorable. 𝐭𝐲 exclaims. Oh, thanks I guess, I say uneasily. 2 hours later, I find myself walking to Principal Nizu's office. Since 𝐸𝐸𝐽 is a school I've always wanted to attend, I know quite a lot about it. This is a prestigious school for only the best and smartest students. Class 1A has been quite popular since the attacks from the league. I take a deep breath and knock on the door. A soft, "Come on in," is heard from inside, and you open the door and walk in to see Principal Nizu talking to 𝐿o. Is there something I can— Oh, wait, I've seen you before? Nizu comments. Wait, you have? I ask. Yes, a pro hero is recommending you to this school, and I have agreed to take you in. Nizu announces. Thank you so much. I say. It's no problem. I am Principal Nizu, and as you probably know, this is All Might. Nizu introduces himself and All Might. All Might gives a small wave. Principal Nizu produces 2 uniforms and a case that has the number 21 on the top. You'll be going to Class 1A. Your teacher, Shota Aizawa, will explain everything else. There is a bathroom down the hall. Please change into this uniform, and the other is your gym uniform. This case has your hero uniform. You'll also be staying in the Class 1A dorms. That's all you need to know for now. Please take this uniform, change into it, and come back here. Nizu explains. All right. I nod. I take the uniform, locate the bathroom, and change into it. Then I return to Principal Nizu's office. You're back. Now, All Might will show you to Class 1A, Nizu says. All Might stands up. Okay, you ready, young L/N? All Might asks me. More than I'll ever be. I confidently say. I like that energy. All Might smiles at me. All Might holds the door open for me, then leads me to Class 1A. Stay here for a second. All Might tells me. Okay, All Might, I respond. All Might goes into the class. A few moments later, he comes back out. All right, Aizawa will call you in when he's ready. All Might explains. Got it? I say. All Might waves goodbye and leaves. I hear Aizawa talking to the class about how there is a new student, and then I hear him call me in. I open the door and walk in. I can feel 20 pairs of eyes on me as I walk to a good position in front of the class. Aizawa looks my way. All right, introduce yourself. You and the class can get to know each other. I'll be taking a nap. Aizawa tells me. Okay, my name is Y/N/L/N, and I hope we can all get along. I introduce myself. What a basic beach. You look over to the spiky blonde-haired boy who said that. You wanna go, blondie? I challenge him. The F. You asking for a fight on your first day? The blonde-haired kid responds. What if I am? I taunt. Guys, calm down. don't fight. A girl with big brown eyes stands up to stop the chaos. I sigh. I'm sorry I get riled up easy. Hey, that's okay. You got a lot of energy, I like that. A dude with red spiky hair comes up to me. I start talking to others in the class, and the room is filled with conversation before long. I notice a green-haired boy looking up at me. Aren't you that one kid from the sports festival Izuku Midoriya? I ask him. Yeah. He laughs nervously, scratching the back of his head. Would you like to sit with us during lunch? I could help you get to know everybody. Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, Midoriya. I respond. He gives me a bright smile. Present Mike enters the class before long to start the English lesson. During lunch, I sit with Midoriya and get to know his friends, Ichiko Uraraka, Tenya Ida, Shoto Todoroki, and Tsuyu Azui. You can call me Tsu, Azui says to me. Oh cool. I tell her. Then hero basic training. The best part of the day, according to Midoriya. Aizawa instructs all of Class 1A to change into their hero costumes. Here's some costume ideas. These pictures aren't mine. Okay, back to the story. I got to see everyone in their hero costumes for the first time, and they got to see me in mine. Whoa, I didn't know Ida could look so cool. I exclaim. Thank you, L/N. Ida responds. You look so pretty, L/N. Uraraka compliments me. Thanks, Uraraka. I reply. Midnight approaches the class. Okay, the name of the game is Capture the Weapon. Capture the weapon. That's it. Kaminari remarks. Of course not. Midnight continues, you'll be split into two groups. One group will play villains, the other will play heroes. The heroes are trying to get a weapon away from the villains, while the villains are trying to use this capture tape to get as many heroes out of the game as possible. Oh, so it's just a bigger version of what we did at the beginning of the year. The pretty girl in the ponytail realizes. Correct, Yaoyorozu. Midnight replies. I wonder why they'd use the same idea twice. Midoriya wonders. Yeah, I wonder, I reply back, with no clue what they're talking about. Midnight pulls the teams. Since there are 21 students, the villains team will be the bigger one. Heroes team is Yaoyorozu, Bakugo, Tokoyami, Uraraka, Tsu, Ojiro, Hagakure, Siro, Kirishima, and Mina. Villains team is Ida, Shoji, Kaminari, Jiro, Y/N, Midoriya, Todoroki, Koda, Aoyama, Sato, and Mineta. Kaminari laughs. What? Dunce face? Bakugo asks Kaminari. It's ironic how you're on the hero team, Kaminari teases. Do you have a death wish, Duracell? Bakugo snaps. No dash, Kaminari responds quickly. Bakugo flips Kaminari off as he's walking off with the hero team. Midnight lets all of the villain group into the big building where they're supposed to play the game. Alright, here's the floor plan. The weapon is all the way at the top. Good luck, you have 10 minutes before we begin. Midnight walks off. Alright, everyone. Let's not waste any time. Ida ushers everyone inside the lobby of the 20-floor building. What? There are 20 floors. I don't want to climb that many stairs, Kaminari complains. You'll have to SCK it up, Pikachu. You'll probably end up on one of the top floors. Jiro tells him. Then, why you gotta be so mean, Jiro? Kaminari exclaims. I mean, she is right, Kaminari. You should be on the 17th floor. Ida agrees with Jiro. Kaminari trudges towards the stairs at Ida's orders. Mineta, go up on all the floors, including this one, and set up traps. Ida tells Mineta. Okay, the small boy starts taking sticky ball off his head and setting traps around the entrances and windows. Koda, Shoji, find a way up onto the roof. Ida commands. Hey. Shoji responds. Shoji and Koda decide to use the elevator. Me, Sato, and Todoroki will be the main defenses, so Midoriya, L/N, Aoyama, and Jiro, you should go locate the weapon and protect it. Ida tells us. Okay, Ida. Midoriya gives that quick response and the four of us start up the stairs, careful to avoid Mineta's traps. We take the stairs quickly and find ourselves on the 20th floor in no time. The weapon is located easily, and Midoriya and I stand in front of it while Jiro and Aoyama find places to hide so that they can do sneak attacks if need be. They hear the hero group gather outside. Midnight counts down 3, 2. After Midnight started the game, her, All Might, and Aizawa went into the monitoring room to watch the students' progress. So, which team do you think will win, Shota? Midnight asks. I'm really not sure. Mostly I'm interested in the progress of our newest addition. I need to know what power level she's on to determine how much additional training she needs. Aizawa vaguely answers. Of course. But if she weren't here, which team do you think would win? Midnight asks again. That's a difficult question, All Might, what do you think? Aizawa dodges the question. I think that the villain's team would win. All Might states. Of course you'd root for them. Midnight teases. No, Midnight. You asked for my input, here it is. All Might puts a hand on his face. Of course. Midnight answers. On the monitors, it shows Bakugo leading Kirishima, Siro, and Mina into the building from a window on the second floor, and him getting caught in Mineta's sticky trap. God damn it. Should have been more careful, you, even the trap. Mina comments. Shut it, raccoon eyes. Bakugo snaps. Okay. Mina melts the sticky trap, allowing Bakugo to escape. They continue down the hall cautiously. Kirishima peeks around the corner, then suddenly activates his hardening as a punch from Sato is received. I'll hold him off, you guys find the stairs and make sure everyone makes it up safe. Kirishima shouts. Don't tell me what to do, shitty hair. Bakugo retorts. Bakugo, Siro, and Mina run past the scuffle and make it to the stairs. The rest of their team has their hands full dealing with Ida. Todoroki is nowhere to be seen. Siro rushes down the stairs and activates his quirk, wrapping Ida's legs in tape, effectively taking Ida out of the game. The rest of the hero team quickly makes their way upstairs. Kirishima rounds the corner to check on them, and after they meet, everyone continues up the stairs. Hey, what about Sato? Siro asks Kirishima. Oh, I used capture tape and took him out? Kirishima says. Clever. Siro praises Kirishima's efforts. Get going, extras, we don't have all day. Bakugo shouts back at the two of them. The heroes keep going up the stairs. On the fourth floor, Yaoyorozu slips and lands on her butt. Ouch! Uraraka tries to help her up, but also slips and falls straight into Yaoyorozu. Why are you both being so clumsy? Hagakure asks. I think the floor is iced. Uraraka struggles to get off of Yaoyorozu and stumbles back. She slides a ways away on the ice-covered floor. Just great, Ojiro complains. Yeah, of course this wouldn't be good for you, Tail. Bakugo snaps back. Tokoyami carefully steps out onto the ice and has Dark Shadow pick the two girls up, and then he skates to the next flight of stairs with Dark Shadow following along. The three of them get to the stairs safely and look back at the rest of their team. Just sort of skate over. Be careful of Mineta's sticky ball. Tokoyami tells the rest of them, while he and the two girls run up the stairs. Meanwhile, Midoriya and I are waiting in front of the weapon. Midoriya is pressing his earpiece. Ida. Come in, what's the situation? Midoriya asks. They got me, I'm out. I sent Todoroki up to set traps, hoping to run down the timer. Ida's voice comes through on the receiver. Good call, Ida. Thanks, you tried your best. Over and out. Midoriya takes his fingers off the earpiece. So, Ida's down, huh? I ask. Yeth. Midoriya looks at his feet. More silence, Midoriya. Someone's coming. Jiro's voice comes from the corner of the room, it sounds urgent. Midoriya and I get ready and Mineta trudges up the stairs and flops onto the floor, bleeding from his scalp. Are you okay? I run over to Mineta, worried that he's bleeding from his head. Ah, babe, you were worried about me. Mineta flirts. I mean, the fact that your scalp is bleeding is a pretty good reason to be worried. I blatantly answer. Okay, you got me there. Mineta gives up. I get out a cloth from my small first aid pack and press it to Mineta's forehead. Wow, you're pretty generous, the girls, and I won't ever touch him, not even with a 20-foot pole. Jiro's voice echoes from a corner of the room. What did he do? I ask. I'll explain later. Jiro cringes. Guys, we're in training. Midoriya's voice is quieter than usual. Oh, Sorry, I apologize. I finish helping Mineta, and then he sets a trap at the entrance of the stairs here too. Sure, I hear them coming. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 says. Sure enough, I hear footsteps coming towards us. Todoroki comes up the stairs and jumps over the trap. False alarm, I guess, 𝐸𝐻𝐻 sighs. Hey, that's okay. Better to be safe than sorry. Midoriya reassures her. Is something going on? Todoroki asks. No, it's nothing, Todoroki, don't worry. Midoriya says. All right. Todoroki responds. Todoroki presses his right hand to the ground and makes the floor ice right in front of Mineta's trap. So what are you doing up here, Todoroki? I ask him. Well, when Ida realized there was a high chance of us getting taken out of the game, Ida told me to run. So I've been setting more traps. Most of the stairs are now made of ice. Todoroki explains. Oh wow, that's awesome. Good job, Todoroki. I praise him. Thanks, he responds. He leans up against a pillar in the room and slides to the floor. All we have to do now is wait, 𝐸𝐻𝐻 says. Is that 𝐸𝐻𝐻? Todoroki looks around. Yeah, she and Aoyama are hidden. Midoriya explains. Oh, smart, Todoroki says. A couple minutes go by, and then Midnight's voice is heard throughout the building. There are only 5 minutes left. Hero team, pick up the pace. Meanwhile, the hero team is having a hell of a time with the ice-covered stairs. Tokoyami and Uraraka have been either carrying people up or floating them up the stairs, but Uraraka can't last much longer like this and they know that. They make it to the 17th floor, sacrificing Uraraka's ability. They get up onto the level. Hey, this one isn't ice. Mina exclaims. This is definitely a trap dash. Yaoyorozu gets cut off. 3 million volts. Everyone on the hero team is shocked with Kaminari's lightning, leaving most of the team out. The only people left standing who were able to somehow avoid the sneak attack are 𝐸𝐻𝐻, Kirishima, Tokoyami, Yaoyorozu, and Bakugo. Damn it, we lost almost our whole team. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 complains. F in Dunce's face, we should have known. Bakugo yells. Yay, Kaminari has been reduced to his idiot form. He used his quirk up all the way, thinking everyone would be hit. Bakugo makes quick work of him by wrapping the capture tape around his torso, and then having him sit down on the ground. Alright, let's go, extras. He yells back at them. All of them have to be carried up by Dark Shadow to ascend to the 18th level. Meanwhile, the villain's team heard the lightning go off on the 18th level. That must be Kaminari. Aoyama observes. I put my hand on my hip. Yeah, it was. I agree with Aoyama. I think he used up all of his ability, because I can't reach him now. Midoriya takes his fingers off the earpiece. That's unfortunate for him, 𝐸𝐻𝐻 sympathizes. And for us? He should have known that at least 𝐸𝐻𝐻 would make it out of that, I criticize. All 4 of us continue waiting, when Shoji suddenly descends the stairs leading to the roof. Hey Shoji, what are you doing here? Midoriya asks him. I'm no use up on the roof, I can't hear or see anything. They'll be here soon, I know it, so I'll help protect the weapon. Shoji explains. Thanks, man. I fist bump one of his many hands. A little while later, footsteps are heard. They're coming, dash, yeah, we know. I snap at 𝐸𝐻𝐻. All of us take a defensive position, 𝐸𝐻𝐻 and Aoyama prepared to defend from their hiding places, Shoji and Mineta protecting the weapon, and the remainder are main fighters. Bakugo jumps over Mineta's trap, and slips on the ice, landing on his butt. Fu, icy hot. I clap a hand over my mouth to stop from losing my composure as the rest of the heroes' team jump over the trap in ice. Within seconds, it's an all-out brawl. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 and Yaoyorozu are rushing me and Shoji, 𝐸𝐻𝐻 is stabbing the students who get within range of her, and there are shiny lasers everywhere. Tokoyami manages to get Mineta out of the game, and Kirishima is battling Todoroki. Midoriya is keeping Bakugo back. 𝐸𝐻𝐻 is giving me and Shoji a hard time. Shoji, whatever you do, don't let them get the weapon. I yell to him. Shoji wraps his arms around it tighter and runs from 𝐸𝐻𝐻. Suddenly I find myself facing the everything hero herself. You're pretty powerful. I guess it's just my luck that I ran into you, Yaoyorozu. I tell her. I'll go dash, Momo starts. I'm not fighting you if you don't give it your all. I cut her off with a swift kick, only for it to get received by a metal shield. Alright then, Momo responds. Momo throws me off balance and summons a metal pole. I just barely manage to regain balance and pull off my gloves. I use my black tendrils to launch myself up into the air for an advantage, and grab onto her once I'm in the air to pull myself back into close range. Momo hits me in the gut with her pole, but I can't stop now. I put your legs around her neck and twist my body around, pushing Momo to the floor and me ending up on top of her. I quickly wrap the capture tape around her and jump back up. DMNU Deku? I hear Bakugo yelling at Midoriya. You take a second to look around. Kirishima has been captured, but so have Jiro and Oyama. Midoriya's situation isn't looking good. He's badly burned from Bakugo's latest explosion, and parts of his costume have been singed off. I'm about to go and help him, when he presses his earpiece. Coda, now. And then birds. I can't see anything. It's all a flurry of pigeons. Just gray, white, and I can hear people scuffling through the pigeons, trying to win still. I hear something smack the ground hard, and then the pigeons disperse. Bakugo is lying on the ground with a pained expression on his face. I stare at the two. Midoriya wraps Bakugo in capture tape. It, Bakugo says, defeated. The fight isn't over yet. I turn around, and suddenly I'm getting tackled by Dark Shadow. What? I stutter. Dark Shadow has me pinned to the ground. I can't move dash. Suddenly, Dark Shadow lets me go and shrinks away. Todoroki is holding a flame in his left hand. He offers me his right and I take it. He pulls me up. That was a close one. Be more careful. Todoroki tells me. I will. I look around. Let's finish this dash. The buzzer indicating the end of the exercise is heard throughout the building. Everyone stops and looks up. Midoriya had just finished wrapping Tokoyami in capture tape, and Shoji had done a good job keeping the weapon away from Zero. A little while later, everyone is gathered in the monitoring room to hear the results. We have decided the villains team won. Midnight announces. The team explodes into shouts and cheers. Okay, settle down. Midnight chides the group. Even if you won, there is still a lesson to be taken away from this. Aizawa says. Heroes team, what do you think you needed to improve? Yaoyorozu speaks first. I think it was a dumb decision for us to move as one big group like that. We should have known that the other team would use Kaminari as a big attack and sent people up ahead to scout. Yeah, she's right. I would have been much more useful that way. Hagakure interjects. Tsu nods her head in agreement and so does the rest of the team. Aizawa nods. Villains team, got any improvements to make to your strategy? I take this opportunity to make my complaints known. I think that instead of Kaminari using up all his power and getting himself captured, he should have used a slightly weaker area attack and knocked out any stragglers. Also, our whole team seriously underestimated Midoriya. I feel like he could have done more in that fight if put on the front lines. Oh really? Midoriya looks over at me. Hell yeah man. I say with a smile. Alright, well, we're all very proud of your work today. Go back to the locker rooms to change into your uniforms, and you are all free to return to your dorms. All Might says. All of Class 1A return to the locker rooms. Hey, L/N, Mina jumps up off the couch, waving her hands in the air. Could you show us your room? Actually, I haven't seen it myself yet, I reply. Could we check it out together? Mina asks. Sure, I guess that's okay. I respond. Mina and I take the stairs up to the second floor. My room is the second one. I open the door, and the room is pretty basic. I actually didn't expect any decorations, but to my surprise, there's fairy lights, a purple beanbag, and the favorite color blanket I loved so much was spread on the bed. Do you like it? Mina asks. Yeah, I love it. I didn't expect any decorations, huh? I stutter. Mina smiles at me. I found out that you didn't have any cool things, so I got Momo to go decoration shopping with me. The blanket was already there. Oh. Thank you, I say. I walk into the room and drop my bag on the floor near the closet. Well, have fun. I have to go do the homework, Mina pouts. Okay. Mina walks back up the stairs to her room. I close the door and plop down on my new beanbag. I decide to read that book I was reading before all of this. An hour goes by when my phone goes off. I reluctantly put a bookmark in my book and close it, then get up to check who's calling. It's an unknown number, but I press the talk button anyways. Hello. I answer. Hey. It's me. Dobby's voice hisses through the phone. I almost drop it, I'm so surprised. Well, why are you calling? I whisper back. To get a report, obviously. How'd the first day go? Dobby asks. Oh, it went well. I reply. Any information? Yes. Not really, but there are a couple kids you guys should keep an eye on. I tell him. Ooh. That Todoroki kid is really powerful, and so is Bakugo. Yaoyorozu could be a potential danger. Oh, and Midoriya. I list off the names. What's special about him? Dobby asks. I'm not sure, I just think we need to keep an eye on him. I explain. Alright, well, if that's it, I should really get going. Yeah, that's it. When will you be calling again? I ask. In a week, possibly. It might not be me calling every time, by the way. Dobby says. But, well, I should really go now, bye. See ya, kiddo. Dobby hangs up the phone. I stare at the glowing screen. I put the phone down, and quickly realize I probably don't have any pajamas to change into. I walk over to the closet and open it. I find an extra uniform, and that's it. I walk back to the bed, defeated. I've just sat down when I hear a knock at the door. Why just sat down? I complain to no one, as I get up and answer the door. I find Yaoyorozu standing there with some clothes folded in her arms. Hi. I figured, since you didn't come here with much, that you didn't have any pajamas, so I asked our classmates for some spares. We can go clothes shopping for you tomorrow, if you'd like. Momo says as she gently shoves red pajama bottoms and a gray shirt into my arms. Oh, thank you. That's so thoughtful. I respond. It's no problem. You're a part of our class now, so just know that you can trust everyone here. I hope that you have a good time here and get the best out of this education. Momo continues. Yeah, really, thanks so much. I reply, cheeks turning slightly pink. Alright, I will be going now. See you in the morning, L/N. Momo bids you farewell and walks away. I gently shut the door and tiptoe to my bed. I quickly slip into the borrowed pajamas. I take a quick look in the mirror on the bathroom door. I specifically notice the gray shirt, not because it's at least 2 sizes too big on me, but because it's got All Might written on it in the middle. It's quite late, so I decide to brush my teeth and then go to sleep. I sleep more soundly than I have in years for the next 2 weeks. The class trains their special moves. Mine is an area attack I call Rose Thorns. Pretty cool, right? Basically, I summon as many black tendrils as I can and spin in a circle, grabbing everything and everyone in my way. All of this leads up to the hero licensing exam, which goes quite smoothly for me. I work close with Midoriya, Zero, and Uraraka to win the first round, then for the second put myself on the front lines as to not hurt anyone. After I ended up getting my hero license, everything seemed to be okay, until that night. I was down in the common area late because I couldn't sleep, and I heard 2 people walk through the area and out the front door. My curiosity spiked, and I slipped on my tennis shoes and followed them. I'd been following for about 5 minutes when I realized who they are. I'm following Bakugo and Midoriya. I decided to follow them until they got to their destination at ground beta. I quickly hid in an alley near Midoriya, as I heard him speak first. Kaken, what are we doing here? You know we can't be here, and what if? Shut it? I had heard Bakugo tell Midoriya to shut up all the time, but this time was different, I could tell. I've been thinking about it the whole time. About your power. You got it from All Might, didn't you? Bakugo states. Midoriya stays silent. Since you're not denying it, then it must be true. Bakugo says. What will you do with the answer? Midoriya finally responds. You and I both wanted to be like All Might, that's how it was. Then a pebble like you was acknowledged by the person I admired most without me even realizing it. That's why we're settling this. Right here, right now. Bakugo tells Midoriya. If you don't want to get hurt, get ready. Oh yeah, you switched to using kicks recently. Bakugo says. Kaken, wait. We can't do this dash. Midoriya yells, but to no avail since Bakugo is already coming at him fast. Bakugo swings with a right hook, and Midoriya jumps back. Come on, are you seriously overthinking this? Just fight me. 𝐒𝐭𝐲 yells. Before I know it, I'm watching them fight. The teachers definitely know all three of us are out here now. Midoriya keeps trying to explain and dodge, but I know that won't do him any good for much longer. 𝐒𝐭𝐲 just keeps setting off explosions with his fiery quirk. Don't run. Fight. 𝐒𝐭𝐲 yells at Midoriya. 𝐒𝐭𝐲 runs up and kicks Midoriya in the face, but Midoriya quickly retaliates with a kick of his own and knocks 𝐒𝐭𝐲 down. Are you okay? Midoriya goes to help 𝐒𝐭𝐲, but 𝐒𝐭𝐲 swats Midoriya's hand away. Don't you dare help me. 𝐒𝐭𝐲 retorts. Just fight me. What the hell's wrong with you? Why? And I'm running. What the hell am I doing? I don't know, but I think they need something, anything, a remedy, maybe, or And wait, what the hell's? 𝐒𝐭𝐲 sees me. Midoriya turns around too. He looks pretty banged up, but he seems fine, but I check him for injuries anyway. Are you two okay? I ask them. It's fine, thank you. Midoriya assures me. I look at 𝐒𝐭𝐲. Although his pose and aura are very threatening, I can practically see the pain written on his features. Something's wrong. 𝐒𝐭𝐲, is something wrong? Why did you drag Midoriya all the way out here to fight? I ask. That's none of your business. 𝐒𝐭𝐲 says. I make sure Midoriya is completely okay before walking closer to 𝐒𝐭𝐲. I place a hand on his shoulder. 𝐒𝐿𝐽. He looks away angrily and swats my hand away. You look back at Midoriya, who makes eye contact with you. A silent understanding is passed. Why? 𝐒𝐽𝐽 asks. Why did I have to chase after someone who was always so far behind me? Why did a DMN small fry like Deku get so strong and get acknowledged by All Might, but why was I the one who ended All Might? 𝐒𝐽𝐽 cries, spilling out his feelings in front of a childhood friend that he hardly ever knew, and of the new kid who threatened him on the first day. I can feel so much pain behind his words. I know he feels guilty. I guess I feel bad. I know I do. If I had been stronger, if I hadn't been kidnapped by villains, then it never would have happened. All Might tried to cover it up. I couldn't even tell anyone. Even if I try not to think about it, it always comes back. I don't know what to do. 𝐒𝐽𝐽 says. Neither of us know how to respond. It occurred to me that teachers must be coming soon. I approach 𝐒𝐽𝐽 and grab his wrist. What the hell are you doing? 𝐒𝐽𝐽 yells. I drag him closer to Midoriya, who flinches away slightly. You two have a lot you need to sort out, that much is obvious. I state. Midoriya looks down. 𝐒𝐽𝐽 scoffs at me. And I would help both of you through this, but to put it simply, we're breaking curfew. I say. Yeah, no 𝐬𝐽𝐽. 𝐒𝐽𝐽 snaps. Hey, don't get snippy with me. Both of you can meet somewhere in the dorms tomorrow night, if you'd like. Or, just one of you at a time, whatever you need. I say. Thanks, that's so thoughtful. Midoriya looks back up at you. I really didn't want to get into a fight. I'm still expecting you and All Might to explain this to me though, Deku. 𝐒𝐽𝐽 says. Oh, Midoriya suddenly flinches. How much did you hear? Just about everything. Sorry, I reply. Midoriya sighs. We can sort this out tomorrow, I guess, or right now will do. All Might steps out of the shadows. All Might. Midoriya panics. It's all right, young Midoriya. This wasn't your fault. But we do need to explain this to young 𝐒𝐽𝐽 and young L/N, All Might says. All Might then explains one for all, and his history with Midoriya. All of us end up returning to the dorms, to some punishment from Aizawa. 𝐒𝐽𝐽 got 3 days house arrest for that big explosion. Me and Midoriya got off much easier since neither of us were fighting, with just an apology letter being required. The new semester begins, and Principal Nizu organizes a small assembly. He explains how self-care is extremely important, placing emphasis on an appropriate sleep and shower schedule and a healthy diet. He also mentions the hero internships. After that, Hound Dog was called up to the microphone. Last night there were bark. What, does Hound Dog forget speech when he's angry? Kirishima wonders. After Hound Dog finishes, Vlad King takes the mic. As he was saying, there were a couple kids fighting last night. Cad King explains. I look at the floor, embarrassed. Midoriya cringes. I can hear the other classes whispering about it. A couple days go by, and Bakugo gets off his house arrest and returns to class. I'm sitting in class on that fateful day, when Mirio Togata, Nijire Hado, and Tamaki Amajiki of the Big Three walk in the door of Class 1A. I'd seen all of them last year on the sports festival broadcast. They hadn't been very impressive, so I wonder how they got to be the top 3 best students of bnha. They try to explain the hero internships, but Togata decides that the way that they're trying to explain it isn't working. He asks Aizawa if they can demonstrate this in a fight. Yeah, sure. Just do whatever you think is best. Aizawa answers. So all of us end up in the gym, ready to fight the Big Three. Amajiki didn't want to participate, and Hado had no problem leaving this fight to Togata. Todoroki didn't participate either, and Aizawa had to stop Bakugo from participating, since he didn't have a hero license and couldn't even do the internship. So, who's up first? Togata cheerfully announces. I'll go. Kirishima starts. Oh, I'll do it. Midoriya suddenly seems more confident. I understand, he's trying to bounce back from the trouble us 3 caused. He takes a battle stance, then charges at Togata. Then, the strangest thing happens. Midoriya phases right through the upperclassmen. He almost gets hit by the long-distance attacks as Togata phases through the floor, leaving just his clothes behind. I'm stunned, but also flustered. He appears out of the ground behind Jiro and ambushes her. He then makes quick work of all the long-distance attackers. What is he? I wonder out loud. What is his quirk even doing? He just teleported. He lucked out on his super cool quirk. He can teleport and phase through stuff. How will we defeat this? He's unmatched. I hear my classmates complaining. I notice Amajiki in the corner, his forehead to the wall. Heh, unmatched, that's all it takes to know what level you're all on. It's like when a normal person looks at a pro, they can tell they're strong, but they don't know what makes them strong. He mumbles to himself, and I quickly pick up on it. I turn to Midoriya. It doesn't matter what his quirk is, or how he's doing this, we should just use what we know and make a strategy. There's gotta be a point when he's touching all of us directly, so that's when we strike. Midoriya explains. Everyone agrees, and with a newfound plan and energy, they think they're ready to face Togata again until about half of them are also downed with 1 swift punch to the gut each. I think I'm about to be next, but I snap my head over to look at the greenette next to you, attempting to kick Togata in the face. Of course, his leg phases right through, and Togata blinds him before planting a hit on him, too. I'm surprised, since Midoriya got so close to hitting him. I quickly realize I'm next, since everyone is down already and I'm the last one standing. I pull off my gloves and toss them aside. I feel a presence behind me, and WHP around to see Togata. I try to hit him, keeping one hand up, close to my torso. As I thought, my fist goes right through his face. He goes in to punch me in the gut, but I saw that coming. I catch his fist with my bare palm. I see his face contort in surprise, then in pain, as I quickly realize what I've done. I used my quirk in him on accident. I let go and kick him back because this is still a fight, after all. I turn around, trying to hide my face in my hair. Togata gets up, and after retrieving his pants, walks back over to me. I gasp in relief. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to I start. You didn't do anything wrong. Togata says, confused. The rest of the class has started to get up. Nothing. Sorry, I don't know, I stutter. Togata, still obviously confused, decides not to pressure me about this yet. You did great. Impressive work. He congratulates me before walking to the front of the class. I notice my classmates looking quite concerned, so I quickly turn around to avoid their faces. I feel really guilty for all this. Togata, Hado, and Amajiki gather at the front of the class, and they explain the hero internships. I can feel the excitement and buzz of my classmates around me, but all I can feel is dread. The floor has suddenly become very interesting as I study it, deep in anxious thought. I still feel bad for touching Togata with my potentially lethal quirk. I can't shake the feeling of how bad that could have been. I jump, as I'm startled by a hand on my shoulder. A pair of brown eyes stare into mine. Hey, are you okay? You look really pale, 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 asks me. Oh yeah, I'm fine. I reply. Okay, she reluctantly accepts my answer and gives me a giant hug. Oh, L/N, are these yours? Midoriya holds my gloves. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 releases me as I retrieve my gloves from Midoriya. Yeah, they are. Thanks. I reply. I put them on and instantly feel much better. I really hope that no one else noticed that momentary freakout after school. I'm in the dorms hanging out with the girls. All of them are talking about the internships. I heard that the school is being super picky on who us first years can intern with, 'cause of the villain attacks, Mina complains. Yeah, and that means I can't go back to 𝐒𝐭𝐲𝐝𝐻 agency, Tsu says. Gun heads out. 2, it's gonna be really hard to get an internship. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 adds. I bet they don't really know what to do with us. First years haven't been able to get hero licenses before. 𝐸𝐸𝐵 says. Plus, we don't even know if they'll let us do them at all. Mina exclaims. We should still think about them, though. If they do let us do them, it'll be a great help to get some experience. I say. You're right. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 spins around. Oh, Dad. Where do you want to go for your internship? Oh, I don't really know yet. Gran Torino isn't even taking interns, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I have some things in mind, but we'll see. He answers. Ah, that's too bad. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 says. Good luck finding one, though. Thanks. He smiles at her and makes eye contact with me before walking away. I look back at Mina. She starts talking about what foundation brands are the best and cheapest, which is conversation I don't know much about. The only girl who can really engage in this is Yaoyorozu. Aha, I've never been able to afford makeup. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 says to me. Same, actually I was never interested in getting it anyway. I reply. What's your favorite food? She asks. That's a good question. I like a lot of things. I reply. Oh really? That's cool. I've always loved sweet things, she says. Mochi is my favorite. That's cool. Well, if I had to choose, I guess my favorite food would be your favorite food. I tell her. Oh nice. I'll keep that in mind. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 and I keep talking to each other, getting to know each other better. Tsu joins in too, and the three of us have fun talking and laughing. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 and Tsu tell me a little more about their friend group. There's Ida, who's smart and kind, maybe a bit overbearing. There's Midoriya, who is super nice, maybe a bit of a pushover at times, and he knows a lot about everyone in class. And there's Todoroki, who not a lot of people know much about. 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐵 tells me everything she's picked up, though. He's thoughtful but doesn't usually show it and chooses friends carefully. I go to bed that night, finally being able to be exited for the next day. I wake up suddenly to my phone ringing. I look outside at the night sky before answering the unknown number. Hello. I whisper. Hey bestie. Toga's sickly sweet voice drips through the line. Oh hey. How have you been? Toga asks. Oh good. I really like it here, actually. Ooh nice. Hey, have you seen Izuku? She asks. Yeah. What? I say. What's he like? What's his favorite color? He's super hot, right? Toga gushes. Why do you want to know about him? I ask, flustered. A girl is allowed to have a crush. Do you have one? Toga asks. No, I answer. Well, that hero school has tons of hot boys. Maybe we should kidnap a couple. Haha, you hear a voice in the background of Toga's call. 𝐸𝐸𝐵 says I have to ask you about business things. I'm sure you know how it goes. She chirps. Yeah, I do, I reply. I give the normal info on the hero students, their families, and their quirks. I end the call as quickly as I can and slide up against the door. Tsuyu's POV. I couldn't sleep, so I was gonna go see if anyone else was awake. Achiko was fast asleep as I expected. So, I made my way down to the second floor to see Y/N. I was about to knock when I heard her talking to someone. I think she was talking to a friend about crushes. Not wanting to intrude, I waited outside. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I did start listening to her conversation. She started talking about us. It was so personal, though I didn't even know how she knew some of this stuff. She mentioned almost everyone in class, their quirks, and who their family is. Who would want to know this? I'm creeped out and confused. I hear her end the call and a thump on the door. I jump, startled by the noise. I wish I didn't have to do this. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐼's voice leaks through the door just as I was about to leave. I freeze and turn back to her dorm. What should I do? If I ask what's going on or why she's revealing personal information about us without permission, she'll wonder why I was being so impolite. But it does sound like she needs some support right now. I make a decision. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐼's POV. I slump down to the floor against the door. I'm starting to regret everything. I wanted so much to be normal, to maybe be a hero and help people and make connections, that I got ahead of myself. I had no clue that I would start feeling like this. I know I'm betraying all of them, and after they were so nice to me, too. It's barely been a month, but I might need to either cut contact with the league or run away from this amazing paradise of a school. I can't keep living like this. My thoughts are interrupted by a knock on the door behind me. I get up, turn around and open the door, to find 𝐬𝐿 standing there. Hi 𝐬𝐿, what are you doing up so late? I ask her. I couldn't sleep. Same for you. 𝐬𝐿 answers. Yeah, you could say that. I say. Come on in. 𝐬𝐿 enters the dorm. I close the door behind me and jump on the bed. Get comfortable. I tell her. Thanks. She replies. She settles on the bed near the wall. I lay down on a fluffy pillow and urge her to do the same. She looks over at me. Something bothering you? Actually, yeah, kinda, I reply. Wanna talk about it? No, not yet. She nods in understanding, and both of us lay there in the comfortable silence, enjoying each other's presence. Eventually, both of us find a subject to talk about, and we're fast asleep before we know it. The next morning, my alarm wakes both of us up. I jump up and turn it off, and 𝐬𝐿 sits up and stretches. Thanks for letting me stay here. 𝐬𝐿 says. No problem, come over as much as you'd like. I answer. See you at school. Ribbit. 𝐬𝐿 makes the bed for me, then takes her leave. I'm so grateful to have her as a friend. I get into my uniform and rush down to the common area. I'm greeted by many friendly faces, multiplying the guilt of last night's phone call by 100. I avoid their eyes and stare at the floor as I make it to the door, deciding to just go to class early. Ida catches up to me, probably with the same idea in mind. That's what I thought, until he slowed down and walked next to me. Good morning, L/N, Ida greets me. Hi, Ida. I say. Going to class early too, I see. I'm proud of how responsible you are. He slides his glasses back up on his face. Thanks, I reply. He makes small talk with me as we walk to the classroom. When we get there, I make myself busy reorganizing the class library to get away from my thoughts. 20 minutes go by, and before I know it, Aizawa has entered the classroom. Everyone to your seats. Our teacher announces. Everyone scrambles to find their seats and then they quiet down. Alright, I have news about your hero internships. You'll be allowed to do them. Aizawa announces. The class breaks out into cheers. Hey, quiet down. You'll be allowed to do them only if you have a hero license. He looks in Todoroki and Bakugo's direction, and only if the school approves your choice. The hero agency you intern with must have a good track record with students and interns. Aizawa explains. Sighs are heard all across the room. Our suspicions have been confirmed. There are barely any hero agencies to choose from now. That day, I'm walking from the lunchroom when the intercom calls Togata to go meet with All Might. I wonder what that could be about. I make it back to the classroom and sit down, waiting for class to start. Maybe 5 minutes goes by, before my name is called on the intercom too. All Might wants to meet with me. What could be happening? Did they find out my secret, and that's why All Might wants me? I hope not. I make it to the room the announcement specified, and I walk in to find Togata and Midoriya sitting there with All Might. All Might looks my way and smiles. Ah, young L/N. Come on in. I make my way into the lounge and sit on the other side of Midoriya. I'm so glad you could make it, L/N. We were talking about agencies, and Togata said he wanted to see you too. All Might explains. Oh, okay. I look at Togata. So, why did you want to see me? Well, I'm gonna introduce Midoriya here tonight. Togata puts his arm around Midoriya's shoulders, and I wanted to introduce you too. Both of you were super impressive in that fight. So, would you like me to introduce you tonight? I also. Togata finishes. Well, a chance at an internship. And with All Might's former sidekick, 𝐻𝐻𝐼. This is an opportunity one can't let go. Sorry, Shigaraki, yes, please. Thanks so much. I tell Togata, who looks pleased as he takes his arm off a very flustered-looking Midoriya. Awesome. So Togata starts explaining the details of when we'll meet him and how we'll get to the agency. After the meeting is done, the three of us head to our classes. Togata waves at us as he heads down the hall in the opposite direction, to his classroom. Midoriya and I just keep going to our classroom. I decide to try and make small talk. So, are you excited for this internship, Midoriya? I ask him. Oh yes, I am. I can't believe I'll get to do an internship with someone who has worked so closely with All Might. He responds. Yeah. I smile at him. I can't wait. Me either. Hey, what's your favorite hero? Midoriya takes out his notebook. Oh, my favorite hero. That's a good question. I say. Well, I'd probably go with favorite MHA hero. Yeah, they're awesome. He quickly jots something down in his notebook. Hey, I see you with that notebook all the time. What's in it? I ask. Oh, I like to take notes on great heroes, he says, as he opens the book and flips through the pages. I see people like Mount Lady, Kamui Woods, Wash ECD. I also see Bakugo towards the beginning of the book. Ah, you think of us as great heroes too? I say. Yeah. Everyone in class is amazing, he replies. He flips through the pages, then gets to the rest of the students in your class, and some others as well. Finally, he opens it to my page. He's taken some pretty accurate notes on me, and I'm actually surprised at how accurate these quirk details are. Wow, that's awesome. You've got a good eye. I compliment him. Thanks. He replies. Suddenly, both of us are back at the classroom. He opens the door for me and we walk in. Little did I know my life was about to change. The day finally came for me and Midoriya to try and get an internship at 𝐻𝐻𝐼's agency. I could barely sleep last night, it was so nerve-wracking. We had to take the train to get there. Okay, we're here. Togata announces. 𝐻𝐻𝐼's agency is a big building with lots of windows. From what Midoriya had told me about 𝐻𝐻𝐼, this perfectly complements his personality. We stop gazing up at the shiny building and follow Togata inside. We start ascending the spiral staircase. So, any advice? I ask Togata. About what? Togata responds. About 𝐻𝐻𝐼. How do we impress him? Oh, haha, Togata chuckles. Well, if you want him to accept you, you have to make him laugh. Wait, what? Me and Midoriya gasp. Yep. He says that a hero must have a perfect balance of humor and seriousness in their personality and career to be successful. A hero who's only serious all the time won't score any popularity points, you know. Togata explains. Well, that does make sense, Midoriya sighs. We look to each other and each realize one thing. We're terrible at jokes. We finally get up to 𝐻𝐻𝐼's office. Togata asks us to wait outside while he talks to 𝐻𝐻𝐼. He enters the office and shuts the door behind him. I wonder what they're talking about. I wonder out loud. Well, probably about us, Midoriya chuckles. Oh yeah, I reply. We wait for a little while, and then 𝐻𝐻𝐼 himself comes out of his office, trailed by a disheveled-looking blue-skinned girl and Togata. He takes a look at each of us, keeping his eyes on Midoriya for a moment too long, then, you first, step inside. He points at me. What are the chances? I follow him into the office and he shuts the door. As he makes his way to his desk, I take a look around. All Might merch everywhere. This dude is a mega fan of All Might. Makes sense, as he was All Might's sidekick for 5 years, but it's hilarious to see this in person. He sits down at his desk when I spot it. The limited edition 10th annual anniversary poster of All Might that was never sold. Oh my god, I have to get a closer look. I won't touch it, but I'm almost thrown off balance by 𝐻𝐻𝐼 trying to get my attention. I pause in the middle of the room, eyes big as saucers, and blurt out the one thing on my mind. Is that the limited edition poster that was never sold? How'd you get it? He takes a look at me, surprise registering on his face. I don't think that's what he thought I would say first. Oh. I apologize. I bow deeply before straightening up and introducing myself. I'm Y/NL/N-. He chuckles to himself. I stand there, confused. I continue walking up to the poster, while he opens a desk drawer and pulls out a stamp. It's a lot more impressive in person, isn't it? He comments, his whole composure suddenly changed. Yes, sir. I respond. I so desperately want to touch it, but I won't. Instead, I walk to the front of his desk, where he is reclining. Do you by any chance have the form with you? I asks. Yes, I do. I reply. I open up my backpack and pull out the form, placing it on his desk. You must understand before taking this internship that you will end up taking a lot of time off class and missing lessons to do this. Your classmates will move ahead of you in academic study. You would be trading your grades for very valuable hero experience. Do you want to do this? He asks me. I take a second and think it over. Maybe I can ask Yaoyorozu or Uraraka to take notes of the lessons I miss, and either one of them could bring me homework and missed assignments. I don't realize I've been talking out loud until Night Eye chuckles again. It seems like you have it figured out, huh? He comments. Maybe. Yes, I will accept your internship. Thanks so much. I bow again. He stamps the form as I straighten back up. He tells me to go out to Togata, and his sidekick, who I've learned is named Bubble Girl, so I do. How'd it go? Midoriya asks me. It went great. He accepted me. Midoriya looks visibly relieved, then moves to enter Night Eye's office. He's gone before I know it. Me, Togata, and Bubble Girl wait outside for a long time. Soon, we start hearing noises coming from the office. What's going on in there? I ask. Oh, it's not looking good for him. Togata comments. What? Night Eye's making him jump through a ton of hoops to make this internship, judging by the noise, Bubble Girl explains. Oh, a pretty final sounding is heard, and Bubble Girl and Togata burst in the room, me hot on their tracks. You're done, right, sir? Togata asks. That was a pretty final sounding noise. Bubble Girl elaborates. Yes, I am done. He turns to Midoriya. I will accept you for an internship. Midoriya gets up, looking baffled. Watch, but I didn't do anything you asked me to do. I never said I wouldn't approve you if you failed, Night Eye simply says. I had decided I would take you two on as soon as Mirio told me he was bringing you. Midoriya rushes over to Night Eye's desk, and Night Eye goes through the same speech he went through with me. Midoriya accepts Night Eye's internship and thanks him profusely. I giggle and clap a hand over my mouth to muffle the sound. Togata glances over at me. This is too cute. I put my hand down and hide my face in my hair. I probably have a smile plastered on my face like an idiot. Me and Midoriya have a fun time together in the way back to the dorms. I'm really looking forward to this internship, and not just because I'm working with him. I get to test out my knowledge of the hero world, and I'm psyched. I can't wait for the day to come when we get called in. Everyone in the class congratulated us on being the first ones to get an internship, in addition to it being an internship with All Might's former sidekick, which is a way better internship than most in our class could hope to get. Although, now I'm starting to wonder if I'm focusing on this life too much. Was taking this internship really the right thing to do? Many of the people in my class were disappointed that they couldn't find an internship as cool as mine, Midoriya's, or Tokoyami's. I'm a little jealous of Tokoyami. He gets to work with the number 2 hero. I think that's super cool. Then, Kirishima, Uraraka, and Tsu were called in by Hato and Amajiki, and that's how they got their internships. Kirishima works with Fat Gum and Uraraka, and Tsu work with Ryuku. I'm super glad they were able to get internships. We're all gonna have a blast. I'm sure this was the right decision. No second thoughts whatsoever. Today is the first day of me and Midoriya's internship. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I hope nothing bad happens. At the agency, Night Eye told us that we were going to patrol. Me and Midoriya would be going together, and Togata would be patrolling on his own. Night Eye outlined what he and his sidekicks would be doing. They would be keeping an eye on a villain organization called the Shy Hisaikai. Night Eye explains who Kai Chisaki, or Overhaul, is, and that he's a target that the agency is investigating. Then he sends us all out on our assignments. Me and Midoriya set out on the patrol about 10 minutes later. I decide to make some conversation with him while walking. So Midoriya, what's your hero name? I ask him. I'm Deku. He responds. Deku. What's yours? Is. I'm hero name / villain alias, I reply. That's awesome. Thanks, I haven't really gone on a patrol before, Midoriya admits. So could you show me the ropes, maybe? You're in luck. I'm pretty good at this, if I say so myself. I boast. Oh good. Thank you. He smiles at me. We're passing in front of an alleyway, when I feel a force on my legs. I stop and look down to see a little blue-haired girl with a horn on her head on the ground. Oh, are you okay? I tug at my gloves to make sure they're secured to my hands, and kneel down to help her. I can feel Midoriya's eyes on me. I think he knows something's wrong too. This just feels wrong. This girl is covered in bandages. I help her to her feet. I notice that she isn't wearing shoes either. She clings to my shirt and starts to sob. I hug her close and slide her hair. I have no idea what to do for her. I hear footsteps from the alley. I look up and see I notice Midoriya getting tense and elbow him in the leg pretty hard. He gets the hint and acts more normal, but he's still tense. Starts talking. I apologize for her. I didn't mean to get you involved in our family drama. My vision is being clouded with anger. I can't trust myself to speak right now. God, I wish Togata was here. He'd probably handle this better than 2 first years. What were they thinking, sending us out on our own? Midoriya is doing a surprisingly good job masking his emotions. I have no idea how I'm doing. I want to take this girl and book it, but now isn't the right time. I hear their conversation. You said she's your daughter. Midoriya starts. Yes. Chisaki says. Then why is she so scared? A natural reaction to being scolded. And the bandages? From rough play, I promise you, our situation is completely normal. Let's discuss this further in the alley. It's a bit embarrassing, I must admit. Chisaki tries to explain. Bnha. The little girl clutches at my shirt even tighter. Please don't go, and I'm broken, so broken, and I can't seem to put it back together. Everything's on rewind and I need to snap out of this. Iadto. Midoriya taps the top of my head, then follows the man into the alleyway. I lift the girl into my arms, then pause. His back is turned. I could run away right now, and she wouldn't have to go through this anymore. I can feel the sorrow and hurt radiating off her. I can't let her go back. I can't. But my legs are already moving me into the alleyway, part of me hoping that there really is some sort of good explanation for all this, and this is just a normal family issue. Come to me, Eri. You know what will happen if you don't. Chisaki coos at the girl, whose name is apparently Eri. And then I see him tug at his own crisp white glove, and Eri jumps out of my arms, and I know it wasn't. You've quit your temper tantrum finally, Eri? Chisaki asks her. The girl nods her head timidly in response, not daring to make a sound. Good, he says to her, then turns back to us. I apologize for her. We will be on our way now. Chisaki says. Eri, are you sure? Midoriya asks. But they walk away. I should have ran. I shouldn't have let my childish plea for answers move me like this. Now someone else is in danger. Midoriya's POV, and it's all my fault. Save everyone. I couldn't even save one girl. She was begging for help, we both knew it, and we still let her go. He was willing to hurt us to get her back, and she knew it. She returned to whatever hell he has in store for her, just to see us safe. She's more selfless than either of us. I called Night Eye and let him know what happened. Now he wants to meet up with us. So I started walking out of the alley, but L/N is still. I don't know what she's thinking, but she needs some support. Y/N POV. All I can hear is the pounding of my own heart. I'm seeing red. The pain is spreading through my body like a curse. It isn't even real, but it's keeping me rooted in place. And just at the moment I think I'm going to lose it, I feel warm. Midoriya's POV. I grab her hand. Her knees buckle and I have to catch her. Hey, are you okay? I ask. She doesn't respond. I have no idea what's happening. I think we both feel it. I think we're both drowning right now, but I have to get her back to the agency before I lose her. I pick her up and carry her on my back. I start walking to the corner that Night Eye asked us to meet at. Shortly before we get there, she taps my shoulder. Hey, can you put me down? Thanks for the ride. Oh yeah. I put her down gently and we Continue. I'm still worried, but I think she'll be okay now. We make it to the destination 𝐻𝐻𝐼 said he'd meet us at, and sure enough, he's there with Bubble Girl and 𝐻𝐻𝐼. He asks me to describe what happened, and I do. Somehow re-describing it is even worse. With how 𝐻𝐻𝐼 reacted, noticing the disappointment flash in his eyes, it makes the reality of the situation really sink in. Rain begins to sprinkle down from the sky, nature somehow catching on to the mood of the situation. What are the odds of that? The two interns catching the target like that. 𝐻𝐻𝐼 says, trying to lighten the mood. 𝐿/N interjects suddenly. I guess it wasn't all bad, we have new information now, I guess. He said she was his daughter. Oh really? 𝐻𝐻𝐼 asks. Yeah. But I don't believe that for a second. He could have been lying, and I refuse to believe that Angel is related to him. She turns away and crosses her arms. She's obviously angry and frustrated about this. I hope everything will be okay. 𝐻𝐻𝐼 sends us back to school shortly after we finish talking. That's probably for the best. Y/N's POV as I lie in bed trying desperately to sleep, all I can think about is that girl, Eri. Why couldn't I save her? All I can think about is my own past whenever she comes to mind. I know this was probably the better choice for the League, but I don't want her to keep suffering. I'm too far in over my head, and I have to regain control of myself. My mother would have told me that I was being ridiculous. I would say that's an accurate way to describe what my brain is doing to me right now. I know I have to put all this on the back burner and focus on this life I'm trying to fake, but it's so hard. There are so many I don't knows and what if this floating around in my mind that I can't decipher which one's which anymore. But there is one thing that's certain. I might not know what's coming next, but the only thing I know is that the obstacles are only going to get more challenging from here. And I don't even know if I'm prepared to tackle those problems right now. A couple weeks go by. Me and Midoriya were called in a couple times, but it was only for a little while each time. I can tell something's up with him, too. He's been acting different lately. He's always staring into space and generally being stuck in his own world. It might matter though. I don't know how I'm doing. If you asked me how I was doing, I probably would change the subject. I find myself thinking about that little girl quite a lot. I think Midoriya thinks about her too. Eri, I just can't seem to shake this feeling of failure. I hate that this was probably the right thing to do. I wish I had done that differently. I hear my phone vibrate on my desk and go to check the notification. Apparently something's happening tomorrow. 𝐶𝑁TWIT. Me and Midoriya meet up in the common area in the morning. As we head to our work study, we meet up with Uraraka, Tsu, and Kirishima. It's quite a coincidence that our mentors would call all of us in on the same day. At the same time me and Midoriya take the train. The other three do too, and they actually get off at our stop and start going the same way as us. Okay, this is a little suspicious. What's happening here? The five of us arrive at 𝐻𝐻𝐼's agency, and I'm surprised to see that there are a ton of pro heroes in the foyer, as well as the big three and our teacher, Mr. Aizawa. Uraraka makes a realization that this must be connected to that investigation, but I have no clue what she's talking about. It could be the Shy Hisakai investigation 𝐻𝐻𝐼 was working on, but how'd she know about that? Mr. Aizawa catches our attention. Oh, Mr. Aizawa. What are you doing here? Uraraka asks him. They called me in last minute. Apparently this is going to be a pretty big thing. Aizawa says. I accepted so I could keep an eye on you. He looks at Midoriya just a little too long before 𝐻𝐻𝐼 calls everything to order. We are all led to a big conference room with a lot of chairs and plenty of room for all of us. 𝐻𝐻𝐼 takes the seat to the right of 𝐻𝐻𝐼, and I take a seat next to 𝐻𝐻𝐼. Midoriya sits to my left. Kirishima, Amajiki, and Fat Gum are directly across from us on the other side of the room, and a dark-skinned pro hero with cool lock earrings is next to Midoriya. 𝐻𝐻𝐼 commences the meeting once everyone has taken a seat and settled down. Bubble Girl and 𝐻𝐻𝐼's other sidekick 𝐐entipeter take control of the meeting and explain the basics of the investigation and what's going on to the best of their ability, us first years cutting in to ask questions occasionally since we don't know what we're doing yet to occasional complaining about all the questions from the hero next to Midoriya, whose name is apparently Rocklock. Apparently all we know is violence. It gets to a point where they start talking about these quirks stealing bullets. 𝐎𝐩𝐬𝐚𝐠𝐞 had been hit by one of those and Kirishima had deflected one bullet with the use of his cool hardening quirk, so they were able to study its effects and the substance inside it. It was in the next segment of this meeting where everything went downhill. 𝐻𝐼 explained their tests on the quirk erasing bullet. They had found human BLD and cells in there. Shock and disbelief traveled throughout the room like a wildfire. How were they getting advantage of someone with an ability like this? That was the main question being asked. It was when 𝐻𝐼 explained who the 𝐓𝐻 Hisaikai leader, Kai Chisaki, was, that I fully connected the dots. Kai Chisaki is their leader right now. He's been making these bullets from some person's flesh and BLD, so. Is there something important about that? A voice in the back pipes up. Well, these two interns had a confrontation with him a little while ago, and brought us some new information. 𝐻𝐼 gestures to me and Midoriya. He has a daughter. Bubble Girl adds more. She was reported to have her arms and legs covered in bandages. Yes, 𝐻𝐼 muses. I do not like what the possibility of this situation could be. The realization hits the room like a truck. I had already felt bad, but now my suspicions might be confirmed. It isn't concrete, but it's really close to it, and I can't bear to think about what I let her return to. All I can do is stare at 𝐻𝐼 petrified, waiting for someone to put what everyone's thinking into words. I hear it from 𝗏𝗏 first. So that 𝐵𝑠RD is using this girl somehow to make those goddamned bullets? That is precisely what I fear, which is why I have called all of you here today. 𝐻𝐼 responds. A projection appears on the wall behind 𝐻𝐼, showing the location of several 𝐓𝐻 Hisaikai bases and warehouses. It's quickly realized that the heroes in this room were carefully selected by 𝐻𝐼 to investigate those bases and see what's there, since Eri could definitely have been moved from the main lair after she ran away from Chisaki and got herself discovered by two amateur heroes. Fat Gum argues that we should just storm into their main hideout right now, but 𝐻𝐼 says that we need to work smarter and get more information. This isn't just a mission to discover what Chisaki is up to, now it's a mission to save someone in danger, and that's all we should be focused on. 𝐻𝐼 says. We might have avoided all of this if these two had just gotten the girl away from him when they encountered him, 𝗏𝗏 comments, gesturing towards us. Midoriya starts studying his shoes. The table has suddenly become very interesting to me. Out of everyone in this room, they probably feel the worst about this. The fault for this goes to me. I should have given them the attention they needed firsthand so that we could prevent things like this. 𝐻𝐼 explains. Although this has given us valuable information and a way to gain more of it. Now all we can do is strategize the best way and act as soon as possible. Suddenly I feel something very strongly. I'm not sure what it is, determination, grief, shame, or a combination, but it causes a burst of energy to surge through me. I slam my hands on the table and stand up too quick, flinging my chair backwards. Midoriya somehow caught this too and did the same. We'll do our best to make sure that she is safe this time. Me and Midoriya both blurred out in unison. This table is the only thing keeping me upright, while Midoriya is standing strongly on his own. Togata starts at us in shock and wonder, and the room is shaken by our outburst. The meeting goes on after that, and 𝐻𝐼 lays out the plan. Pros like 𝗏𝗏 and Fat Gum will keep an eye on the other 𝐓𝐻 Hisaikai bases/warehouses and investigate them, to figure out where Eri is being kept. Then, once we gathered enough information, we'd get a search warrant from the police and go in, searching mostly for Eri, but also for the quirk-canceling drags that were being made. Shortly after everything is finished being discussed, the meeting is adjourned. Now all we can do is wait. After the meeting, Midoriya and I go out of it feeling equally disheveled. Uraraka and Tsu find us and pull us to a table where the big three and Kirishima are sitting. I sit down next to Kirishima, and Midoriya sits next to me. Uraraka slides in next to Kirishima, and Hado, Amajiki, Togata and Tsu are sitting on the other side of the table. Uraraka keeps taking glances at me, hoping I would notice, and I do. I know she's concerned. I have always been terrible at masking my emotions, and it seems like Midoriya is a lot better at it than I am, because he's at least keeping a straight face. I wish I could know how everyone felt, and I bet they wish they could know the same. Can you tell us what happened? It would be good for us to know, Hado asks. I take a look at Midoriya. He gives a weak nod and begins recounting the story. He goes through everything Eri, Chisaki, all of it. I didn't want to relive it a second time, especially since this is all my fault. He finishes up the story eventually. If only I'd have saved her then, I say, then this wouldn't be happening. Oh man, so that's what happened, so frustrating. Kirishima exclaims. We know you tried Y/N. And Deku too. Uraraka tries to comfort us. Thanks guys, Midoriya says. We're all silent for a long time. Eventually, the elevator dings, and Mr. Aizawa walks in. What is this, a funeral or something? Mr. Aizawa says. Mr. Aizawa, hello sir. Tsu says. Call me Eraserhead outside of school, Aizawa explains. He pauses for a second. Let me just say one thing before you got involved in this. I was going to recommend that your work studies be suspended. What? Kirishima exclaims. Why would you do that? You were listening when he said the league may be involved, right? Aizawa murmurs. That changes things. Midoriya turns away from his teacher with a pained look on his face. Aizawa pauses. Look, here's the deal. Midoriya, you still haven't proven that I can trust you yet. Midoriya looks up with a surprised and worried look on his face. Unfortunately, I'm positive that if I try to stop you now, you'll do something reckless and attempt to take things into your own hands. Aizawa kneels down to get level with Midoriya. So I'll watch you. If you're going to see this through, you have to do it the right way. Use your head. Aizawa taps Midoriya's chest with his fist. You hear me, problem child? Midoriya looks like he's about to cry, but he keeps it in and nods to his teacher. Aizawa straightens up. Just because you didn't hold on to her this time, doesn't mean you didn't give Eri hope. He looks at me. So keep looking forward, right? Midoriya responds with newfound energy. Oh, Mr. Aizawa. Uraraka exclaims. I told you, I'm Eraserhead here, Aizawa reminds her. Everyone stands up from the table. Hey, Midoriya, L/N next time, we'll definitely save her. Togata reassures us. Right? No matter what. Midoriya responds. I'm silent. I just can't bring myself to form the words necessary for a response. I might end up crying if I do. So, let's get back to the school, huh? Aizawa says. Totally. Kirishima says. All of us pile into the elevator and speed down to the lobby. We exit the building, following our teacher to the bullet train. Kirishima puts an arm around Midoriya and me as we walk. I look up at him in surprise, and he flashes me that shiny smile that he's got. He starts talking about how manly we are and generally giving us confidence. At least Midoriya is starting to seem to be in higher spirits. This guy's aura just radiates positivity and power, so it's kind of hard to be sad around Kirishima. I'm glad for that. I probably would have had another panic attack if not for him. Kirishima starts talking about other things, asking who our favorite heroes are, things like that. It turns out, Kirishima and I have a lot in common. Plus, he'd make a good friend. Kirishima manages to lift my spirits and re-energize my hopes as we get to know each other. I think Midoriya feels better too. All I can hope is that everything turns out all right in the end. We end up riding the bullet train back to the school, and the big three split off to go to their own dorms. Kirishima pushes open the door to the CAD's 1A dorms, and we all walk in. We're greeted by our classmates as they see us. I head to the elevator along with Tsu and Uraraka, and I ride up to my floor. Once I get into my dormitory, I put my things away and change into more casual clothing. I go back down into the common area, where suddenly I feel a hand clamp down on my wrist and start to lead me somewhere. Hey whoa! I yell, as I'm being dragged over to the lounge where they've gathered everyone else. I'm pushed into a sitting position in between Mina and Tokoyami. What's happening? I ask. We're gonna play truth or dare. Mina exclaims to everyone, answering my question. I hear groans and sighs of annoyance mostly from Bakugo as Mina gets everyone to agree to play. It takes a miracle, but our emo kids Tokoyami, Todoroki, and Bakugo are eventually persuaded. I hope I won't have to do anything embarrassing that might be worse than what I'm dealing with. But I'm glad for the distraction. Mina seems to know the perfect ways to divert my attention from the negative stuff to make my days a little better. Although, I'm not so sure about this. Mina starts by explaining the rules. It's simple. Everyone knows how to play. But if you don't want to do a truth or a dare, you have to. Mina pauses, then runs to the kitchen and starts mixing liquids and condiments together. You have to drink this. She finishes hurriedly, rushing back to the common area brandishing a paper cup full of something. Wait, what? I shriek. Mina turns to me with a mischievous expression. Yup. I should never have agreed to this, Midoriya says. Too late. Mina says, placing a bottle in the middle of the circle. What's that for? Kaminari asks. This is how you'll choose the Paragon to give a truth or dare to. It's random so that the same person doesn't get chosen twice. Mina responds. Makes sense. Momo says. Mina sits down in the circle, then spins the bottle. It lands on 𝐒𝐻𝐿. Truth or dare, 𝐒𝐻𝐿? She asks him. Dare. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 responds. I dare you to dangle from the ceiling upside down for 2 minutes. Mina retorts. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 grumbles a complaint, then attaches himself to the ceiling and lets himself fall upside down. Mina starts a timer on her phone. Don't worry, 𝐒𝐻𝐿, you'll probably be okay. Kaminari assures him. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 glares at Kaminari. Kaminari bursts into laughter that ensnares most of the boys. The room is filled with smiles and jokes for the remainder of the time, and Mina's alarm eventually goes off. Time's up. Mina yells over the noise. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 cuts the tape and clumsily lands on the floor. He sits down and spins the bottle, which lands on Mineta. He instantly responds with truth. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 thinks for a minute, then comes up with one. How many body pillows do you have? What kind of question is that? Mineta shrieks. Just answer it. Or are you scared? Bakugo taunts. Mineta flinches. Final answer. 13. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 wiggles his eyebrows. Are you sure? I thought that, 𝐒𝐻𝐿 teases, cutting off his own sentence. Fine, I actually have 26. Happy now. Mineta answers, panicked. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 laughs. Yeah. Your turn. Mineta spins the bottle, and it lands on me. The rest of the girls start giving me sympathetic looks, like I've been assigned some punishment. I don't really understand why they're doing that. Truth or dare? Mineta asks. Dare. I reply, because I'm not afraid of those looks the girls are giving me. I dare you to wear a bikini for the rest of the night. Mineta says. Okay, what is your problem? 𝐒𝐻𝐿 yells at him. 𝐒𝐻𝐿, it's okay, I say, standing up from my spot. It really isn't that bad. I said I would do a dare, so now I gotta go through with it. I still don't understand why she reacted like that or what experiences she's had with Mineta, but she reluctantly agrees to let me go fulfill my dare. I go to my room and dig through my clothes. I only have 2 swimsuits, a one-piece, and a bikini. So naturally, I fulfill my dare and change into the favorite color bikini. Before leaving my dorm, I stop for a second. I decide to grab a mostly see-through swimsuit cover-up just so I don't get too uncomfortable. After making sure my gloves are on, I run out of my dorm and into the elevator, which takes me downstairs to the common area. I casually walk out of the elevator and take my spot next to Tokoyami. Mineta is staring at me with a weird look on his face. I'm just gonna ignore that. I spin the bottle and it lands on Bakugo. Truth or dare? I ask him. Dare. He responds, of course. I take a second to think. What would the best dare for him be? After a couple minutes, the best idea pops into my head. I dare you to prank the teachers. Fine. But how? Bakugo asks. I mean in the way that'd be most annoying. I know. Let's fill their break room up with plastic ball. Like you know the ones in a ball pit at a play place for kids. Yeah, let's do that. I say. Momo chuckles. I can make the plastic ball. Then it's on. Bakugo yells. He grabs Momo and they go to the main school building to fulfill his dare. After about 30 minutes, Bakugo and Momo come back. The deed is done. He says, presenting pictures he took of the ball-filled break room for proof. I laugh. Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. Oh, and if they figure out you two were responsible, I expect you to take all the blame, boom boy. Bakugo frowns. Don't call me that. Also I was gonna do that anyways so you don't have to worry. I smile. Spin the bottle, 𝐬𝐬𝐚𝐿. Bakugo flips me off. then takes his place back in the circle and spins the bottle. It lands on Midoriya. Midoriya instantly looks surprised and very nervous at the same time. Bakugo smiles triumphantly. Truth or dare, Deku? Midoriya looks at everyone else nervously. Of course, they're all staring at him in anticipation. That's enough to make anyone nervous, isn't it? Dare. Midoriya decides. Bakugo pauses for a minute, staring at Midoriya with murder in his eyes. Midoriya's POV: I know what would have happened if I chose truth. It probably would have been a little easier. But all my classmates are here, and they expect me to be strong. So I'm gonna be. I just hope 𝐭𝐿 doesn't make me do anything illegal. Getting in trouble with the school would be the least of my problems at this point. 𝐭𝐿 makes up his mind and stands up. I dare you to fight me. Right now. No. We can't do that. I respond. Mina stands up. Yeah, I don't think any dare that involves people getting hurt on purpose can be allowed. Choose something else, or you have to drink the concoction. Mina threatens before sitting back down. 𝐭𝐿 grumbles something about unfair rules, then sits back down for a while. All of this waiting is only making me more anxious by the second. I want to just get this over with. Now Kirishima is helping come up with 𝐭𝐿's dare. This can't be good. But that also proves that 𝐭𝐿 isn't very good at coming up with a dare that doesn't involve a fight, which worries me. Finally, 𝐭𝐿 stands back up again. Alright, I dare you to climb to the roof of the dorm. For clarification, our dorm doesn't have a rooftop. 𝐭𝐿 wants me to try to climb up the slanted roof, even though it's raining outside. Wow, that's pretty dangerous, Kaminari says. Will he do it? I stand up. Well, I guess I can't not do it. 𝐭𝐿 and everyone else go outside to watch as I climb up to the roof. 𝐭𝐿's making me start from the ground floor of the building, so I activate one for all and start scaling up the side of the building using the balconies we have. It's pretty easy to jump from balcony to balcony, but pretty soon the next jump requires me to take hold of the roof. 𝐻/N's POV: I can't believe he's actually doing this. A fall would hurt pretty bad, but I'm pretty sure he's actually felt worse. Midoriya jumps up and grabs the side of the roof. He then pulls himself up onto it, and pretty soon he's making his way up to the very top of the slanted sides. It's pretty impressive, but I hope he doesn't slip and fall. But I'm freezing out here standing under Momo's clear umbrella, so I have to go in to grab a coat. I walk back into the dorm building and grab my coat off the coat hanger and race back outside. I look back up to see that he made it, and now he's just looking down with a smile. Everyone else starts cheering. Bakugo yells over the cheering. Now jump down, you DMN nerd. The cheering dies down. I run over to Bakugo and punch him in the arm, yelling at him. If Midoriya jumps down, he could break his legs. Not if I land the right way. Midoriya yells down to us. I'm actually surprised. Is he gonna do it? The whole class is holding their breath as Midoriya takes a couple steps back, then runs up and jumps off the roof. Everyone else is just as surprised as me. Midoriya falls for a while, and after landing he tucks into a roll and stands back up completely fine. It's just physics, he says. If your legs don't absorb the full impact, they won't get hurt at all. The class breaks out into cheers, including myself. All this just leaves a surprised Bakugo speechless. All of us go back inside before we can get a noise complaint from the other classes. A couple more truth/dares happen. Midoriya ends up learning Jiro's favorite music artist. Jiro gets Mina to confess her crush. It's Kirishima, by the way, and Mina ends the night off with a dare to Ida, who ends up modeling a dress for us like it's a fashion show, which I couldn't have enjoyed more. Well, maybe not more than Midoriya's stunt. Great job, everybody, Mina exclaims. All of us were able to complete our truths and dares. She holds up the cup, which is still full. She marches to the kitchen and dumps it down the sink, thankfully. That was a lot of fun, but a little dangerous. I'm thinking a board game night would be fun as well. Ida says. That'd be fun. Midoriya responds. I smile at no one in particular before going back up to my room for the night. I'm trying to get to sleep in my dorm room, but my thoughts are getting the better of me. Since it's been a while since the last time me and Midoriya were called to Nightai's agency, I don't know what's going on at all. It's really frustrating. My thoughts are interrupted by my phone going off suddenly. I check my phone and realize what's happened. I rush downstairs and realize that Midoriya and the others involved in the work studies know about it too. I quickly realize that the time comes soon. Almost too soon. At 8 a.m. the next morning, I find myself with the other heroes and the police. Turns out, 𝐼 found out where they're hiding 𝐸𝐸. It'll finally be my time to save her, and I'm sure this'll be good for the League. If I can get my hands on her, I can give her over to the League. Well, that's what I would have said a couple months ago. I can't trust them with her, I know it, even if they were so nice to me. They're still villains, and she'll never be safe again if she falls into their hands. So I'll turn a blind eye to their actions and try my best not to fight them. Hopefully Toga doesn't bust my plans. My thoughts are interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. I look behind me to see Kirishima. He hands a paper to me. These are most of the villains' identities and quirks. They told me to give this copy to you. Kirishima says. Thanks, I reply. You seem a bit distracted. Everything okay? Yes. Mostly I guess I'm just anxious. I admit. That makes sense. Well, I know you can do this. Kirishima smiles at me. Ah, thanks man. You're gonna do better than me, I know it. I say to him. Kirishima grins at me. Then everyone's attention is drawn to the people explaining the plan. About 15 minutes later, we're all grouped outside the residence. A policeman presses the call button, but halfway through his first sentence the outer door breaks down. Villains burst through the wall, taking out some of the police force. Ryuku's agency stays behind to deal with the villains, and everyone else advances forward. We have a permit to search the premises. Please stand down and allow us to search the property. One of the policemen shouts, to no avail. A villain who can control plant blades shoots them at us like sharp bullets. One of the heroes takes him out, and we advance. Once we're in the main house, 𝐼 stops at a place in the hallway. It's a small table decorated with a tapestry and a flower. He presses the wooden boards of the table in a certain order, and the wall slides open to reveal a small passageway down into a hallway. Whoa, a secret hallway? Kirishima exclaims. We all run down into the hallway, and we get a little distance into it when we run into a wall. Togata uses his permeation to stick his head through the wall and check the path. Yeah, there's definitely more hallway after this wall. He confirms. It would be quite easy for Chisaki to make a wall like this while fleeing, 𝐼 concludes. Midoriya and Kirishima make quick work of the wall by smashing a hole through it. Guess that takes care of it, I comment. Everyone moves forward. It isn't long before the hallway starts warping, literally moving like RBB. It's pretty hard to maintain my balance, but I manage. We eventually run into another wall that is strangely placed. He's trying to flee, isn't he? I say. Yeah, they are, which is why they're stalling for time. We only have so long until he gets away, and they know it too. Togata says. What are you saying, Mirio? 𝐻𝐸𝐿 timidly asks. As long as we know the direction of our goals, we can still reach them. So I'll go on ahead. Togata says while running towards the wall. Wait, it's dangerous to go alone. Midoriya exclaims. It'll be okay. Let's keep going. 𝐼 assures Midoriya. After Togata runs through the wall ahead of us, a hole opens right under everyone, and we all fall into another hall. Wah! Another hall? Midoriya asks while getting off the ground. I guess so, Kirishima responds. There's 3 villains waiting here. Eraserhead erases their quirks. Alright, fine. Let's show them the real power of the pros. Fatgum starts, but is cut off by 𝐻𝐸𝐿 holding up a hand. Save the power of the pros for the goal. For these guys I'll be enough on my own. 𝐻𝐸𝐿 says. Whoa, 𝐻𝐸𝐿. Let's just work together. Kirishima yells. Sure, teamwork. I'll still kill you all. The first villain says. The second villain raises a gun. Swords and bullets will just absorb right into my body. Fatgum boldly claims, trying to intimidate them. The villains charge, but 𝐻𝐸𝐿 summons octopus tentacles from his fingertips and smashes the villains into the wall. Just let me take them on. With so many pros stopped here, we'd be playing right into their hands. Just let me take them on. 𝐻𝐸𝐿 says. Fatgum. If it's me, I can completely shut them down before they can come back. Fatgum nods. Alright then, it's up to you. Fatgum runs out of the room with the others hot on his heels. Eraserhead deactivates his erasing quirk and knocks out the third villain, a guy in a white hood. Just make sure you knock them out quickly, Eraserhead says before running out of the room. I pause for a second while everyone else goes out. Senators, I wonder what he can do, I whisper to myself. Then I catch up to the others. This is a race against time, I should remember that. We're running down the hallway to our goal, when Kirishima shouts something to Fat Gum. Fat Gum, you're just gonna leave him alone like that? What are you thinking? Kirishima yells. Yeah, I hope he's okay, Midoriya agrees. Listen up. If Sun Eater says he can take them on, then I know he can. Self-confidence has always been hard for him, so if he's confident that he can do this, then you should be confident in him too, okay? Fat Gum tells them. Yeah, you're right. I should believe in him. Kirishima reassures himself. Midoriya nods to show he understands. We continue forward for a little while when part of the wall juts out straight for me. Kirishima pushes me out of the way, and I fall into Midoriya as Fat Gum jumps in front of Kirishima and gets pushed into the wall by the wall itself. I right myself quickly and turn to realize that Kirishima and Fat Gum are gone. Hate where they go, I exclaim. The wall must have pushed them into another room or something. Midoriya says. Come on, we don't have time for this. We have to keep moving. Eraserhead yells back at us. We obey his command and keep running forward. Soon, the walls are closing in on us from the front, sides, and back. Midoriya is using his power to keep the wall in the front at bay, but it just keeps coming back. Everything's getting really small and cramped. I see Rocklock use his quirk on the walls to keep them from closing in, but it's really not doing very much. Just as soon as it started happening, the walls recede, and the room opens up. It opened up. Midoriya exclaims. I smile, only to have it wiped off my face when walls come up around us. Eraserhead pulls me and Midoriya out of the way of the walls and into the section we've suddenly been trapped in. Thanks for the save, Eraser, I say. It's nothing, Eraserhead replies. What happened to everyone else? Midoriya asks. We hear Nightye's voice in the distance. Is everyone okay? Yeah, I'm fine. We hear Rocklock get hurt where he is. Oh no, that doesn't sound good, I say. Lockdown, Rocklock yells. The League of Villains. I press my ear up against the wall and hear Toga's voice, really quiet. No, you're wrong. I'm an honorary Yakuza today. I hear Rocklock fall. Midoriya tells me to move out of the way, then busts the wall down to see what became of Rocklock. We find Rocklock down on the ground hurt, with is that Rocklock. The other Rocklock is kneeling next to the hurt body. The conscious Rocklock starts speaking. A fake came out of nowhere and attacked me. He gets up and approaches Midoriya. Midoriya, are you okay? Hey Dash. I yell, and throw myself into the Rocklock approaching Midoriya, just as Eraserhead activates his quirk erasure and reveals Toga underneath the disguise. Knew it, I whisper. I'm on top of her, and I have her arms pinned down. Himiko Toga. Midoriya exclaims, surprised. Hey, Izuku remembered me. Toga tells me happily. I make eye contact with her, silently begging her to not engage with me and just run away, but of course she doesn't listen. She somehow gets me off of her and tackles me to the floor with a bear hug. To my advantage, it probably looked a lot like an attack. I take the opportunity to whisper to her, don't blow my cover, before she's taken off of me by Eraserhead. She winks at me before flipping over Eraserhead, stabbing him in the back and running away, with a wall closing her off from us. Eraser, I yell. Midoriya helps me up. You okay? He asks me. Totally. I respond. A relieved look passes over his face, before being replaced by a worried one as he looks to Eraserhead. Eraser presses a hand to the wound with an agitated look on his face. The room then opens up again. The wall opens up to reveal Twice and a big strong guy in a mask. Twice yells out, "Go get them, big bro Rappa," and the strong guy charges. I jump to the side, but that may not have been needed. Night Eye pulls out his stamps from our first meeting and flings them at Rappa. Rappa hits the wall and disintegrates after receiving the blow from the stamps. These stamps are my support items. Pretty humorous, right? Night Eye says. What? He melted. That Yakuza is useless. Twice shouts. Night Eye throws another stamp and tears twice mask, and then twice retreats. I almost want to go help him, but I gotta keep moving with the heroes if I want to keep my cover. He'll understand, right? Maybe Toga will elaborate to him what's going on. And just when we thought we were safe, the walls erupt with spikes moving everywhere. Everything's shaking and I can hardly keep my balance. I can hear angry shouts from someone in the walls. Is this where I finally meet my ends?